What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Blade Podcast, the podcast about film production and post production. So, welcome to a brand new episode. My name is Lungile, and today I'm going to be talking about the life of a video editor. So, I run a production company based in Johannesburg, South Africa. I've been an editor for quite a while, and I run my own company. And I just thought I'd talk to you guys about what it means to be an editor, how it feels to be an editor, how to survive in the post-production world, and what you can learn and what you can expect. Okay, so when you are a video editor, sometimes you are a freelance video editor, sometimes you work for a company and you work internally, sometimes you're just like a solo person who does your own thing. Usually a video editor is a person that usually comes in the process after production. So after your company or a client has shot something, they will give you footage to edit and make that edit into a story. So usually you would be editing movie trailers, you'll be editing music videos, or you'll be editing corporate videos or TV promos. So I've done a little bit of everything, and they're all very different. But at the end of the day, whatever the type of project that you work on, at the end of the day, you usually work with a software. And there's different types of softwares. There's Premiere Pro, there is DaVinci Resolve, and there is Avid, and there's Windows Movie Maker. But the first three I mentioned are much more professional, like Premiere, DaVinci Resolve, and Avid are much more powerful and used by a lot of senior editors with like a lot of experience. Which one is the best one? I don't know. That's according to you. It all depends on your budget and what you're working on. They all have their pros and cons. I will make a video about that, the different softwares, their pros and cons in a later video. But today's video is just about a touch-up on what it's like to be a video editor. When you're a video editor, you usually get a call from a client who will say, hey, I've got this project, I want you to edit it for me. And usually they will give you 5 to 15 two-hour video clips. And they'll ask you to go through all those clips and cut a 3-minute trailer. So, as you can hear, this is a lot of footage to be cutting into a 3-minute video. But sometimes that's what the type of jobs you get. Sometimes the footage is little, sometimes it's a lot. And usually having a lot helps you to make a better video. So once you get all that footage and all those video clips, you need to cut them into a 3-minute video, and you need to tell a story, right? So that story could be a corporate video, it could be a music video, it could be a movie, it could be a trailer, it could be a small, quick TV pilot. It doesn't matter what it is. The main thing is that you have to do is you have to go through all that footage, watch every inch of it, and then take the best shots from all that footage and put them in your edit so that you can have a really, really great video that tells a story. Usually when you're cutting these things, the first thing I would usually do is I go through all the footage and I take the clips that I like and I think are the best from each section. And after that, I open a new timeline and I start editing the video. So I will get a soundtrack. Sometimes a project will come with a script. They'll give you a script if it's a corporate video, or sometimes they'll just give you a guide voice, which is just like just a fancy word for a rough voiceover. So you'll put your guide voice with the music, and then you start editing and telling the story. So you have to usually find music for the video clip, and obviously the music will be influenced by what type of video you're making. Are you making a hardcore, energetic video, like a sports video, or is it like a more emotional video? Is it like an intimate video? It also depends on what the client is going for and what you're going for and what the concept is. So then you will start editing with the guide voice and the music. Sometimes there is no guide voice. Sometimes it's just like interviews. So yeah, you start editing and you build a story, and then until you cut the best version of that 3-minute video. After you've done it, you have to re-watch that video and make sure that there are no flash frames. Flash frames is when there's flashes of shots that are like mistakes. You also need to make sure that video is cut properly to your music. So usually if a music track goes up, it goes tss, you want your shots to go rapid and then go back. So you can have like a cool rhythm, and the rhythm of the edit can change. You know, while you're still telling the story, but you just cut your edit to the music. So when the beat keeps going like this, you know you're changing the shot every time the promo is doing this, or you change it every second snap. You know, I hope that makes sense. So yeah, you cut the video and then you send it to client, and the client will give you feedback. Please work on this, take this out, take this, put this in, etc., etc. Change the music, and then you do that. Sometimes you cut a promo that has graphics, so it's footage and graphics. So while you're editing this promo, you might have to pick shots where you know there's going to be graphics on it. You can put like rough titles on it that are rough, so that you know, you can tell the animation guys and the VFX guys, this is where we're going to put the titles, and then you export that for the animators, and you even export that and you send it to your client so they can see the rough version of the promo before you hand over the promo or the video to an animator to add proper graphics that are designed, you know. Sometimes if you're working alone, you have to do your own titles, so you can use a program like After Effects to generate your own titles. But also you can use Premiere Pro because it has a function where you can generate good looking titles within Premiere. You can buy templates. That's another option. Also, sometimes you edit a project that has a lot of 3D work on it, 3D animation work. So these type of videos, usually the client will give you pictures, like still frames, storyboards of what the animation is going to be. And with that animation, they'll give you still pictures, and then from the still pictures, you're gonna have to cut them, make sure the pictures tell a story, and then after that, you're gonna have to send it to the animators and the client so they can see where the animation is going. But this is just still pictures. And then after you've cut those pictures into an animatic that tells a story, you export that cut and you send it to animators and they start animating. So that when they do 3D work, it's not just they're not just doing too much work. They're only doing as much work per shot. Because if the shot they're using of like a 3D car is 5 seconds in the promo or in the video, they're not going to make a 30-second clip because it takes time. 3D work is like really intensive and expensive. And usually when an editor works, they'll be editing footage from a hard drive, but in bigger companies, they work from a server. So a server is basically a big box full of hard drives that everyone in the company works from. So whenever they get new footage, they put it in that server and everyone can access that footage. What's great about that is that the data is central and it's not on one computer, because if you put footage on one computer, if that computer crashes, all that data is lost. But if it's on a server, everyone can access it. And on a server, basically, it's like a box with like 10 to 15 hard drives. Sometimes it's like 1,000 terabytes of space or 4,000 terabytes of space. And companies usually keep their work for like going back 2 to 3 years back. Because sometimes, client comes back and says, hey, you remember that video that you edited for me 3 years ago? Can you please send it back to me? And then you can just go on the server, go to the month and say, February, March, we did this video. February in 2012, here's this video, and then you take it and you send it to client. The great thing about having servers is that the data is central. So usually on a server, they usually are RAID servers. So if one drive on the server dies, you can just take that drive out and then put back a new one, and then the data is still there. So data is then never stored on one drive. So if you're obviously not a big company or a freelancer or you're a one-person shop, you can build your own server with a Synology 4-bay drive, RAID drive, and from that you can get like 4 drives in one box. So those drives can be 1 terabyte each, 2 terabyte each, or 8 terabytes each. But what's cool is that all the data is on all 4 hard drives, and then if one drive dies, you can just replace it, and then the RAID will rebuild the data that was stored on that drive. So it helps you not keep data on OneDrive, because drives die, they don't last forever. So it's one thing to think about. Also, when you are editing, you want to be fast because time is money. The faster you are, the better you are. And usually, a lot of editors you work with, they do a lot of different things to be able to work faster. The first one is they use a lot of shortcuts when they're editing, whatever the program is. And some also they work on SSD drives because they are much faster. And they also sometimes use gaming mouse, like a Razer Naga gaming mouse that can help you edit faster because it has buttons on the mouse. Sometimes some people even reprogram the software so they can help them move quicker when they're going through footage and using the interface. So yeah, that's what it's like to be an editor. You usually need to know a lot of technical stuff because you're dealing with a lot of video stuff. You need to know codecs, file formats, need to know cameras, you also need to know grading sometimes, and animation, and you need to be a good storyteller, and you need to be fast. So it does take a long time to edit. The first time I edited, I thought it was taking too long because you're building a story shot by shot by shot, and you have to be patient. But after a long time of editing something, it does get better because you edit it and you rewatch it and you edit it and you try different things. And it can be really great. And I enjoy editing, and I think it's a really cool thing and a great career. So if you ever wanted to know what the life of being an editor is and how editors work in different companies, whether they're solo or they're freelancers, that's basically a gist of it. And I'll probably talk about another topic about being a video editor in the next video. But until next time, guys, peace out.